Now I know what you're thinking. How on earth did Mythic 1 BSC Caster Kenny get into a professional $1,000 Brawl Stars tournament? And you know what? That's hurtful. And you're absolutely right. I have no business playing against professional Brawl Stars players. Or so I thought. A couple days ago, I competed in the $1,000 Bellus tournament. I have casted this tournament before, and it's a special tournament which gives community members from Brawl Stars an opportunity to play with their favorite pros and creators. For this edition, there was one pro, one woman, and one non-pro, aka the creator or me category. My team was great. I got paired with Konita and Sans, a professional player for STMN which made the semifinals at Worlds last year. This guy is as good as it gets. The tournament was double elimination, power league format, and the best 2 out of 3 maps. Since my teammates were super good, I knew they would do great on game day, but I didn't want to let them down. So I did what little practice I could that week leading up to the tournament. I scrimmed the best players in the entire community as good preparation for this tournament, aka my viewers. I streamed and practiced on Twitch a couple days before the tournament for about an hour and warmed up in some more friendly scrims about an hour before the tournament started. Other than that, we had never played before as a team and just showed up for our very first match on tournament day. It was a random drawing for the bracket, and up first we landed Tribe Tyrant's team, one of the best players in North America and the world. His teammates were Seth, an L2 Power League player, and Estelle. Map 1 is Shooting Star, one of the most mechanical maps in the entire game. We have first pick, and Sans calls out to ban Piper, Mandy, and Gray. After seeing the opponent's bans, we instantly pick Grom. But Katie, why would you pick Grom as your first pick when somebody like Brock, a wall break brawler, is still available? Well, thank you for that concern, voice of public opinion, but just like you, I naively believed that this would be a mistake. Coach Sans felt confident in the pick because Grom is just that strong right now, has good range, and his super deals lethal damage. He said Grom could be even with Brock at mid, so we took the risk and locked in Grom. We correctly predicted that they would go Brock and Nani, round out our draft with Bonnie, and then they snagged Gus. One thing worth noting is this tournament was casted on Twitch in front of hundreds of people, and we were the very first game on, so all the lights were on us. The casters in chat point out that I am in trouble. Tyrant is in my lane, and he has torn down the walls immediately. However, this is all a part of our plan. Sans kicks off game 1 with 2 kills instantly, giving us a lead in the ability for me to grab the blue star. Now, we don't have to even get aggressive. Moments later, Konita and I get a kill on Tyrant, and my confidence is boosted. I launch a Grom bomb and a couple tags on Estelle with less than 30 seconds to go, and we close out with a 13-0 win. Suddenly, everybody saw our vision, and chat was gassing me up. Game 2 starts, and we have a more challenging start, but take care of business after I pick up a kill, gain map control, and Sans picks up a double. We slowly back it up, I escape dying narrowly, and we lock up set number 1. Things were not always this smooth sailing, though. Map 2 is Crystal Arcade, and Sans calls out our bans. We select Otis as our first pick, one of the strongest brawlers in the game right now that can shut down any tanky options that they may choose later down the road. They go back to Gus once again and pick Carl, a great synergy as Carl is an aggressive brawler with a lot of HP that Gus can throw his shield onto. After some deliberation, we choose Max to mid and Sam, an underrated brawler in the meta right now, and figure we can use Sans to be our tanky and aggressive option to overrun the opponents. Their final pick is Surge, a very solid play into Sam, and we know we have our work cut out for us immediately. Set 2 is a tough one. Game 1 is a back and forth affair the whole way until Tyrant picks up a crucial kill on our gym carrier Konita. Tyrant continues to do Tyrant things, and we are forced to sprint to the other side of the map as a team. They narrowly escape a reset, and we lose game 1. In game 2, we have a huge lead, but unfortunately give it away after we misplay, trying to grab a couple extra gems. We get a little greedy, Tyrant again capitalizes, and they run away with the gems and the set. Map 3 comes around, and this is where I have my first cruel learning experience of competing at a professional level in Brawl Stars. We hop into the draft, make our bans, and are the first pick once again. We deliberate what to do. We're having a hard time with this first pick, and with about 5 seconds left to go, Sans calls out for me to go 8-bit. I hustle all the way to the other side of the screen and forget that the brawler rarities had recently been changed in Brawl Stars. I had no clue what rarity 8-bit was. As a result, when this happens, the game actually randomly selects a brawler for you, and we end up with Lola. My heart drops, but it's honestly not the worst brawler given our circumstance, and Lola has been used competitively on this map before. We expect the Bell that they end up choosing, and they go Bonnie, another really solid choice from them. We struggle to decide our next two picks, but I suggest Colette to try and counter out the Bonnie, and we grab 8-Bit as our final pick, with Eve rounding out their side of the draft. We put up a great fight, but ultimately, they just played a better set. Our unscripted and messed up draft on my end does not work out, and we lose the set 2-0. With a tough loss, we keep our heads high and immediately hop into our next match. We are slated to play pro player Shine, Archaz, another way better casual than me who's in Legendary 2 Power League, and Astrid, another brutal matchup. Map 1 is Layer Cake, and we get Penny, Otis, and Sprout, while the other team picks Grom, Jean, and Carl. Looks like an outdraft favoring them, and it plays out that way for sure. We got smacked 2-0 that set. Now it's win or go home for us. If we lose this set, we are done for the entire tournament. Double Swoosh is the map, and Coach Sands is on the money. We have first pick and ban Gray, Penny, and Janet. After seeing the opponent's bans, Sands quickly picks up on the lack of mids that are viable and calls out for me to take Bo. The draft plays out, and the other team is forced to use Stu as their mid, who's been competitively used before as a mid on Double Swoosh along with his Speed Zone gadget, but in this current meta, he's definitely not a top choice. Game 1 is tight and way closer than our first set against Shine's team. We eventually pick up some kills, gain complete control of the map, grab the necessary gems to start a countdown, and easily walk away with the win. Game 2 is the exact same story, except this time, the other team takes control of the right-hand lane and we are forced away. They apply enough pressure and walk away with all the gems. Now, we face a match point. In between games 2 and 3, Sands makes a pivotal call for us to be ready for the Carl's gadgets and supers on that right-hand side. If we can just focus on the Carl when he's aggressive and get his gadgets out of the way early, we could have a real advantage in this match. Game 3 kicks off and it goes exactly to plan. Konita and Sands pop off, get a takedown on Astrid, and force Carl away. We now have complete map control, and Shine is forced to pop another speed zone. The map gets covered in gasoline from Amber. Archaz finally snags a kill, and I nearly get eliminated, but it's way too late at this point. I grabbed the last gem we needed and took off while my teammates and my bow mines played defense. We survived another set. Our final map is once again Safe Zone, and we are hungry to redeem ourselves. This time we have way less indecision about our draft. We end up selecting Colonel Ruffs instantly, who is somebody we already debated the last go round, so we knew exactly what to do here. The other team has a solid response. They selected Griff and B back to back for a classic long range and wall break strategy. Sands calls out that we should go Eve and Belle, and as the pro player, we absolutely trust his opinion. It's gonna be way better than mine, who's just a caster at the game, and even though I study the game a ton, he's somebody who lives through this and scrims through this every day. Of course we're gonna trust him, but I'm a little nervous, and I point out if they go B and Griff, two tank counter options, that we may have to deal with somebody like Daryl on the back turn. Sands agrees with the point I make, but given our option, he educates us that the damage amplifier and nest eggs would probably be enough to deal with somebody like Daryl. Plus, if they go tank, we can charge our supers a little bit easier as he's a bigger target, has to walk at us, so we could power up teammates with Colonel Ruff's super, or have spawners on the ground constantly cycling against B, which struggles against this as a single shot brawler. They end up selecting Daryl as we predicted, and we go with our game plan. Game 1 is insanely close. Our comp revolves heavily on map control as we do not have a lot of damage output on our 3 brawlers. We do a good job overall, but the opposing team took advantage of the DPS from Daryl and only needed a couple attempts at the safe to win. It's match point once again, and in game 2, we faced an early deficit. I start to kick into high gear and take control of the left-hand lane while Sands and Konita pop off. I power them both up with my super and we pummel the high safe. All of a sudden, we have our first match point of the entire day. It's win or go home for both teams in game 3. We start out the game with Sands taking Shine down and then assisting Konita on the right-hand lane. We get some free shots on the safe, but since our team has little DPS, we only score 21% onto it. Not a ton for all that hard work. Game progresses, and with a minute to go, we are barely leading. Shine and Archaz make a great play in super against Konita, who is forced to gadget away back towards our safe, and immediately this allows Archaz to move forward. Shine could now move forward and created a great choke point in our own spawn. We had no easy way out and time was ticking. Daryl got in another high damage play and we were forced to move up the map with little time and little DPS. We tried our best, but ultimately lost another close match 2-1. Our tournament was over. Well, it did not go the way that we wanted it to. I had so much fun playing in this tournament. Major shout out to Ashlyn, who organizes all of these, and OG and CMG for helping her put this one together. I also want to give a ton of love to both my teammates. They were both great to work with, super easy and nice in VC, very fun, and they taught me a lot about the game. If you want to help out the channel, I would really appreciate it if you guys went down below, subscribed, and liked the video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know down below if you want to see anything similar to this, me try out future tournaments, more competitive Power League stuff. I really want to get better at the game, and I think this has kind of been an instigator for me to really try and find more time to play this game, because ultimately I really enjoy it and I want to get a lot better at it. Appreciate you all, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.